Byron, you've been telling me about the challenge that you have encountered of the transition from being the baby boy in your family to now being the man of the house in your marriage.
Yeah, for real. It's a crazy journey, and I think one of probably the most challenging thing a guy can do in life, and one of the most rewarding as well. But just to give you a bit of background and structure to it, so I grew up as the youngest in the family of mum, dad, and three of us kids. And a fairly structured and sheltered lifestyle. I'm probably the product of two parents who made the mistakes on the first two, and then I got the easy.
I know his sister. I'm keeping this bit in.
So I got the easy ride, but I don't believe I was a spoilt child. My brother and sister would probably say very differently.
Alicia?
But it's so going through life and being quite sheltered in that I was probably the only one of the three kids that made I'm going to say wise life choices growing up through my teens. But this transition from being that in that sheltered lifestyle of going from you're the youngest in the house and you're well looked after, to then going, you're now the man of the house and you're responsible for your household. And I believe, marriage is a partnership, and you work together in as a team. And so Amy and I have, we've got a really good kind of structure in that, but it's not without its challenges, because you're going from an environment where I guess if you look at it like you're not the authority figure in the house, and then suddenly when you're at home, suddenly you are. And then, I mean, in between my journey, I moved out of home when I was 24 years old and moved not just out of home, but to the other side of the world. So I had, before getting married, I had a few years of experience just of being a person in the world. And that was a really good stepping stone towards that. And then getting into marriage is obviously comes with all these crazy challenges. And somebody much wiser than me has said that a fresh marriage can be like two rivers coming together, and when they meet, there's going to be rapids, and it's going to be, the current is going to be wild, but later down the line, like later down the river, it's actually flowing smoothly together. So
nice analogy.
Like I said, much wiser than me.
So I know your wife Amy very well, and interestingly, you talked about how you come from a structured upbringing where, if we can go there, if you're financially tight at the end of the month and couldn't make rent, you run to the bank of mum and dad. Yeah. Your wife grew up very differently to you. Yeah, so Amy grew up in a single parent home. She was raised by her mum. And she's a very strong-willed character. So her mum raised her to be strong and independent, and so to not be one who will she'll figure out the solution to the problem herself rather than running to somebody else who can. And I think as the youngest in the family, you've got in the family life, you've got very easy access to, mum or dad, I need a hand with this, I need a hand with that. And it's there to help because they're great parents and they want to bless their children, and that's amazing, and it's so I'm so grateful for it. But then on the flip side of that, you're out of that structure. And I had so say both Amy and I freelance, so salaries can be up and down. We don't know what's coming in. We're literally just we living by faith in that regard. But so things like, say things are tight, I would have a habit of going, Mum, Dad, I need an extra 100 to make up my rent or something. And I had done that in marriage, and Amy pulled me up on it, and it was actually, I'm the first point of call now. It's you and I. It's not your mum, dad, and you. Wow. There's a aspect of leaving and cleaving that is so necessary, and so you become a team. You're in a partnership with that person. You're becoming one with that person, and that's not just in your not just in your living. It's everything. It's your emotions coming together. Your opinions coming together. Everything, and so that has been the challenge of progressing from, like I said, baby boy to man of the house, and an ongoing progression. I know then that challenge with Amy, what you realised was that, you know, you were kind of being a little bit stubborn because you've been used to getting things your own way, but, you know, and that might have caused a little bit of friction or whatever. But with time, you've come to realise that actually Amy is on your side and that you can do this together. Can you kind of give us, tell us about that process?
Yeah, I think, you know, being a stubborn male is like, I don't know, maybe just ingrained in me, but the challenge of being open to discussion and being willing to receive somebody's advice, and I'm so thankful that she's so much wiser than I am, but she sees things from a greater perspective. When I'm in, like, when I've got tunnel vision and something's frustrating me or I'm being elated by something, she will be the one that comes in and actually has a broad overview and a perspective. And so learning not to be stubborn, but also to put down my defenses, because I can be so quick to be defensive of myself that it actually leads to arguments. And then it's not until after an argument that you go, oh, actually she's right.
And all the men that are married today.
But it's a realization, and so you're like, okay, sorry babe, we go. But it's almost like you need to break your defense down, like lay your armor down so you can actually grow into who you're meant to be.
Wow, I love that.
Working on communication. Communication is the foundational aspect, I believe, of any strong relationship. And if you can get that right early on, then you're actually going to see the fruit of it later down the line. So for single guys that are looking to get married or wanting to get married one day, it's like, you know, if you can build strong, solid communication, it's actually worth more than gold, because you're building a structure and a way that you're going to operate within marriage. And then to married guys, it's it's never too late to build that structure and never too late to build that communication. We've been given 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we should listen twice as much as we speak. But
Finish right there.
Yeah, that's done.
Brilliant. Thank you so much.
A sense of mutual vulnerability was quite hard to find between friends, like where it's, sometimes it'd be someone who really offload to me and I have to be the strong, protective friend, I had to be the rock in that, and I never felt like I could actually sort of share or be vulnerable.